I wonder if they walked through that 20-acre of plow field.
And this field is good, man.
You are listening to Saints in the South.
All right, welcome to season 2, episode 58. We are Saints in the South, representing saints everywhere, and we are your source for gospel growth and good times.
If you'll let us be.
You only knew how much fun we had in here.
We love it. Love it.
Hey,
That sounded like we don't love it. We do. We really do. Anyway.
Hey, again, a reminder on the February challenge. Go to saintsinthesouth.com, sign up on our email subscriber list, and click on the blue microphone and give us your best. Y'all keep on striving. For everyone that does, you'll have your name entered into a drawing, and whoever's name is pulled out will be able to win.
I need to play it. I need to play it. I need
exactly. That's right.
Yeah. Andrew doesn't wear them, but we do.
So don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Hey, one more bit of information. I know a lot of you will hear or see this on the day it's released, but February 14th, so that's tonight, if you're listening on the day this is released, we will be interviewed by Come Follow Me Live on Facebook, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So tune in, take a look, and we should have some fun with that.
That's right.
Scared.
Yeah, kind of nerve-wracking.
I'm completely calm and ready.
I'm ready for it.
Anyway, so today we are in Doctrine and Covenants, sections 14 through 17.
Yes.
Stand as a witness.
Yes.
Uncle Andrew, what you got?
So things ain't going too well in Harmony.
What are you talking about?
They're here. They are trying to translate, and persecution. Isaac, Emma's daddy.
Yeah.
He ain't really fond of the idea anyways.
Yeah, right,
So,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so people
He didn't even care for Joseph Smith.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
to marry his daughter. So,
exactly. So you got people in the community kind of like pressuring him, like, "What's up? What's going on with Joseph?" You know.
Mhm.
So
These
Oliver,
crazy kids. Basically.
Have you ever? So he's defending his son-in-law, and his because of his daughter, right?
Yeah,
So he's
right.
wanting to protect his daughter.
That's a good point. That
So-
he does. It's not like he's turned his back on Joseph.
That's
I mean,
right.
He's actually helping out a lot. I mean, really.
Yeah.
So one of the things I want to point out about that, and I'll let you continue there, but have you ever tried to convince someone or of something that you really didn't believe in? Right. So that's what he's having to do.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
look, I understand, but just let him do his thing.
Look, okay.
Just-
So here's the thing. I say so I dabbled, and y'all probably don't know this, with selling insurance one time.
Okay.
It was some kind of health insurance. I can't even tell you what the name of the company was at this point. This was way back early 2000s. Okay. I didn't know jack squaddle about, I don't know what to say here, but I didn't know anything really much about it. I was a young guy, you know what I'm saying? I was late 20s. I say late 20, maybe mid 20s. It's been a while. I'm like 80 years old, but anyway, so I'm trying to sell this insurance, right? I'm thinking, oh dude, I'm fixing to make money like crazy, you know, but I didn't know much about the insurance. I didn't even have that insurance because you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I don't think this actually covers very well, but hey, I'm fixing to sell this thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't sell it. And the reason I couldn't sell it, because I didn't believe in it.
Yeah.
And it's hard
It
to
is.
be successful. That's what actually Satan does that very well. I mean, he's very good at that, but I'm not trying to act like I'm some kind of self-righteous person or whatever, but it's true. If you don't believe in it, it's really hard to sell. Andrew's told me a bunch of times. He said, "Man, you should be a salesman for so-and-so. Like there'll be some kind of candy bar or something that just come out that I love, and I'll talk to Andrew about it. It's like, dang, I got to have one now. Man, you just sold that thing. So if you believe in it and you love it and it's something that you really like, it's easy to sell. But like you're saying, if you don't, it's very
So
very, very hard.
Emma's daddy did.
Yeah.
So
it's tough.
Yeah.
You know.
So Oliver. So here's Oliver, and then he's writing a friend of his, David Whitmer, in Fayette, Waterloo, Fayette, New York, about 100 miles away, which is Fayette's really kind of real close to Palmyra. So anyways, but it's off in the farmland there. And he writes David. So David ends up, we'll learn more about it, but David ends up getting a horse and carriage, picking up Oliver and Joseph and taking them there to Fayette there at the Peter Whitmer farm.
So just to preface a little bit here, section 15, 16, I'm sorry, 14, 15, and 16. Yeah, 14, 15 and 16. These are actually revelations given to David Whitmer,
John
Whitmer, and Peter Whitmer
Jr.
and Peter Whitmer Jr.
Yeah.
And so what I want to say is this, as soon as I get back to it, it says this. It says at times the Lord, and we notice that there's a lot of the same wordage in each of these,
especially John and Peter.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Exactly.
It says at times the Lord reveals the same messages to different individuals because they may have similar desires or circumstances. For example, mission calls that are extended today by the president of the church have nearly identical wording. Nevertheless, those who receive the calls recognize the personal application of the direction given as it guides them in their missionary service. So as recorded in Doctrine and Covenants 15:16, the Lord called John Whitmer and Peter Whitmer by name and revealed his will to them one at a time. So even though those are very similar, we look at it and say, wow, that's pretty much said the same exact thing to each one. But for them as individuals, it was very personal and very important for them. And so, and I love how they made that, as you know, with missionary calls. I mean, they are very almost identical missionary calls, except for where you're going when you leave and things like your name. Yeah. But there's things in there that you realize as you find out you're going to this place that has some kind of meaning, or you find out later. And so it is very personal, even though it looks very stamped as, you know, like a regular, I don't know what that word is, but it looks the same as everybody else's, but it's not, you know. Just
real quick on the Come Follow Me on the app, a video that's super great, A Day for Eternities, is on there.
Yeah.
You can find it on YouTube also, but it's a great 20-30 minute video. But you'll see in this video, and it's recorded in history, how when David Whitmer received the letter from Oliver, he's wanting to go get him. But David's daddy was kind of like, man, we got some work around the farm. We got to get some things done, then we'll consider it. So David prays, and the video explains it. Is the visual of it's super good. But basically, the next morning they go out there and the field's already plowed.
Yeah,
which is super cool.
Yeah.
So I watched that video last night.
Great video.
Very cool.
20 acres.
20 acres.
That's 20 acres, because David had told his father, he says, look, we need to go get him. He says, well, it's not time for us to do that. We got to get this field ready first.
Yeah. Just to put in perspective, an acre is about the size of a football field. I believe that's what I've always been told. So 20 football fields. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of land. I mean, overnight. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Back then, no farm machinery. I mean, as far as like, you know.
Yeah.
So I also did the reading on that. So I think in the reading that I did, there was a little bit more left to do, about like about 6 acres left.
Yeah, six
acres left. In the video, it doesn't make that clear.
Yeah.
But
David's dad's like, hey,
he's like,
hey, we can handle 6 acres. What's up?
Go.
Roll
Exactly.
out. So that's, you know, was the 3 Nephites involved? I don't know.
I don't know, but anyways,
you know, you hear things like that, but who knows? All I know is it got done. So
so David go get some.
It's definitely a miracle.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other bit of information I think that is important is that Oliver and David had met there in the Palmyra, Manchester area.
That's right.
And they had became friends and had started talking about this Smith boy and everything.
Right. Yeah.
And so they agreed that as they found out information to let each other know.
Yeah.
And so that's how they kind of became friends. And one of the reasons that Oliver had been writing David was informing him of that. The other thing about them getting ready to go, I also see Joseph feeling responsible for the heat that his father and mother-in-law are getting now.
Yeah.
And he wants to provide some relief for them as well.
Yeah.
And so now that he knows that Oliver's got this friend about 100 miles north, he says, hey, let's go there.
Yeah. And again, they were kind of this farm was kind of, again, they were 20 acres behind their house. So I don't know how much other land they owned.
Yeah, right.
So they kind of had a lot of privacy there.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but anyways, so 14 is actually to David Whitmer, section 14. And actually verse 7 is one of the, I believe in the top 10 quoted scriptures since 1971 at General Conference.
Wow.
And if you keep my commandments and endure to the end, you shall have eternal life, which gift is the greatest of all gifts of God.
Mm-hmm.
And what's kind of notable is that word endure. And we come to learn that David Whitmer didn't endure.
Yeah.
He did go to his deathbed testifying of the Book of Mormon.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he never denied that. Never denied it.
Never denied the truthfulness of the Book of Mormon, but he just, like many people do, he started finding flaws with Joseph Smith
he
and
basically
the church.
called him a fallen prophet.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. He just started finding flaws, and which is again
Satan working on him.
Yeah.
Satan working on him.
It really did.
And again, just thinking about Satan's cunning ways and his way of destroying God's work.
Yeah.
He went after 3 of the witnesses, to try and bring them down, and was partially successful in 2 of them.
Yeah.
Oliver ended up coming back, right? David Whitmer never did, but they all 3 maintained their witness of the gold plates in the Book of Mormon.
That's right. Yeah. So they, we went there. We just going off of recorded church history, but what I love is how none of them never denied the Book of Mormon.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Finding flaws in people. People do that all the time.
Easy to do.
Easy to do.
I mean, I can sit and talk about you and you.
Yeah.
And be
Right.
And I do it all the time behind y'all's back. 14 is given to David Whitmer.
David Whitmer. Yep.
Then 15 and 16 are his brothers, right?
Right.
John and Peter.
Yep.
Jr. And section 15, you got John Whitmer. Again, 15, 16 are very similar, like you were talking about earlier.
I like, to me, 14 and 15, or I'm sorry, 15 and 16, where at verse 3, I think it's verse 3 in both, is it? Let me see.
Yeah, they're pretty much, they're identical.
Verse 3, yes. So verse 3 in both of those, and it says, and I will tell you, and this is Jesus talking, the Lord's talking to Peter and to John.
Yeah, John.
He says, and I will tell you that which no man knoweth save me and thee alone. I love that God absolutely knows us individually. And we see here that the things that are important to us is important to him. I think that's just very interesting how personal this is to them. It's very intimate, I guess you could say.
Well, so as far as the background and understanding, it says John and Peter Whitmer both wanted to know what would be of most worth in their lives, and of course, it talked about sharing the gospel and calling
declaring repentance
and everything, which is true when it gets down to it.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
That's the biggest thing, because all of this is all about saving souls.
Exactly.
All this stuff that goes on, having the Book of Mormon, keeping records, or ordaining people to the priesthood. It's all about saving souls. And so, I mean, he really gave them he says,
real simple.
Yeah. Just the most important work there is,
Yeah. When you work and serve others, declaring repentance, you're working for your own salvation too. You know what I mean? You're helping.
I wonder if they were a little disappointed or something.
So let me answer that. Let me answer that. I'm gonna say possibly. I don't know what's in their mind.
Right.
But I'll be honest. So whenever I opened my mission call, I had some disappointment. I hate it.
So but where did it come from?
Came from the Lord.
No, but I'm saying for you.
So a couple of things. One, I really wanted to go forward and speak with my brothers. Right. So I was called to Las Vegas, Nevada, which is English speaking.
Right.
And the other thing is, I wanted to go somewhere where nobody had been that I knew of.
Yeah.
And I had an uncle that had served in Las Vegas.
Really?
Right. Yeah. My uncle Jerome. So
your family's sort of tied to that area for some reason.
Right. Exactly. Cool. So I think now, looking back, it's cool that we were both called there and everything.
Yeah, right.
However, at the same time, I wanted what I thought as my own mission call. Right. So with these individuals here wanted their own revelation, right? They want something that would be exactly copied.
They want that. They want that angel to come down, or they want that. Let me see the sword of Laban, or something cool, whatever it is. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. I think, I mean, don't get me wrong. We're talking about a revelation from the Lord. Right. The Lord has said your name. The Lord is talking to you directly, et cetera, et cetera. But but if we're being honest, we've all got those little human elements in there.
For sure.
Exactly. Stuff, so
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a little.
I mean, it makes sense.
Jealousy, envy.
And I don't think the Lord
look down on
that, because I mean, look, your desires and this is great desires. These are good things. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you're asking for something that's I wanted a car. What's going on? Where's that gold mine at? You can tell me where it's at. That stuff's not going to happen anyway. The Lord's not. But these are good people.
Yeah. So and this is what so I've never put myself in John and Peter's shoes, but now I can, right?
Yeah.
Because
no, absolutely.
and
that's what we should do. That's locking in the scripture.
Right.
Yeah, I like it.
And another reason of doing before, when I'd read these sections, I just read it as a random revelation to a random dude.
Yeah.
But now with the studying that we've been doing, I feel like I know these.
You get the history background.
Get the history background.
You got to get the history background. Thanks to Uncle Andrew. But if you're just, I'll be honest with you, and it's like you're saying, Jackson. I have went through the Doctrine and Covenants before, but only through almost like you would do the Book of Mormon or the New Testament or whatever. And just reading, and like you say, you get the little heading, sometimes like the revelation given through Joseph Smith to the prophet, or the prophet to Peter Whitmer Jr. at Fayette, New York, 1829. Okay. And then you read this and you think, okay, that's good. Some good stuff in there. Next, and you read, but if you go in and see who Peter Whitmer Jr. was, he's one of the 8 witnesses.
Right.
You start putting context to it. It's like,
trivia
so
question.
It's on. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. No trivia. But if you take the history, you got Doctrine and Covenants, and we've talked about this before, which is why we have the segments of Uncle Andrew, with the history thing. There's history and there's scripture combined, that we have in Doctrine and Covenants. One of the main reasons, because it's not very ancient to us. Who's to say that when, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody. Alma, when Alma was reading what they had, a little bit of plates, they probably knew who, talked about Nephi, as we talk about, Peter Whitmer Jr. here. It wasn't that far back, for him, just as it is to us now. So it's just very cool to get that history to put with this. If you don't, it's easy to lose a lot of context here.
Yeah, background stories.
Absolutely.
For me, when you learn the background stories, then it's easier to hold on.
Absolutely.
For me, but yeah, the inspirational script, like that 14:7. I mean, for years, I just oh, wow, easy. Keep my commandments and dirt to the end, you shall have eternal life.
Yeah.
But how powerful is that? Also, it's definitely inspiring. But
and then to know who he was talking to, why
exactly.
he was talking
so
to
when
him.
you start learning that, it does kind of, you kind of hold on to it a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
Exactly.
On John and
Peter
Jr. there. So John, real quick, he died and also testified to the Book of Mormon until his deathbed.
Yeah.
But he was excommunicated, used to church funds there in Missouri.
See, that's most I didn't know.
So he misused church funds. And again, he was what they called a law-abiding citizen there in Missouri, but he just was excommunicated. But the other brother, Peter Jr., he actually was on an assignment with Oliver on like a mission trip, and he ended up dying of that what's it called, tuberculosis.
Yeah,
he died, but he was faithful to the end till his death and all. But again, everyone, all these people here never denied the Book of Mormon, even though they found flaws or then when that little greed with that misuse of church funds, but they never denied the Book of Mormon.
To me though, it makes it more
real
astounding and real that
no matter what they went through, they got
excommunicated. They got excommunicated from the church, yet they still defended and said to their dying breath that the Book of Mormon's real. I mean, that's a real thing. It came from God. It's a scripture. That's pretty powerful because they had every right, or not every right, I shouldn't say, but they had every reason to say, I'm not telling anybody nothing about it. They could have, you know what I'm saying? I'll deny it because they turned their back on me. I'm going to turn my back on them, but they didn't. They couldn't. They could not.
Never denied it, even though the worldly things might've gotten away. They never did. So, 3 witnesses, what's up?
Oliver Cowdery, David Whitmer,
Martin
Harris.
So Martin Harris ain't there. Like I said, Martin Harris is in Palmyra, not far from there.
Right.
But I believe Joseph tells Samuel. Say, hey, what's up? Go get my parents and Martin. And you got to think what Martin kind of felt. Like dude, I lost 116 pages. I thought you forgot about me,
Yeah.
But shows how much Joseph forgives.
And I think the video does a good job of portraying that. And he shows up with his shoulders hunched over, head down and everything. And Joseph puts his arms around him and says, look, we both messed up.
Right.
Now let's move forward.
Let's move forward.
That's right. Let's keep on striving.
So David and Oliver, David Whitmer, Oliver Cowdery, and Martin Harris is kind of teasing Joseph. Like, I want to be part of these 3 witnesses because Joseph told them already there will be 3 witnesses.
Yeah. Right. It's in the Book of Mormon.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's probably where they that they got it from.
Yeah.
They saw it in
most
the
likely.
manuscript or as they were. Anyway,
so they were kind of like, hey, I want to be one of these 3 witnesses.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
a natural reaction.
I was gonna say, as we all would have done.
Yeah.
I would have.
I'll sign up for that.
I'll do it. I'll absolutely do it. You know what though? That's when they were saying that, they didn't realize what they were taking on. I mean, that's a load. That's a load. I mean, that is a heavy responsibility for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into that, but that's something Joseph Smith was carrying on his own, and you see what was happening to him.
Yeah. And
so anyway,
so he told so after he prayed, you know, I think he basically told Martin, out of the 3, he kind of needed to humble himself down. Calm down over there, for whatever reason.
Right.
No,
but anyways, so what happens?
So they go off to another sacred grove.
Yeah, that's right.
Basically,
about lunchtime, noonday, they go out there and.
Do we see a pattern here, people? I mean, find your sacred groves. We talked about it.
Some are quiet.
This story is probably one of the most eye-opening, humbling experiences to read about and to watch.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on there, but again, Martin is still struggling.
He's still
he's with self-reassurance, lack of faith, and everything.
It's not because of lack of desire.
No,
as a matter of fact, in the little title or the heading thing, I can't remember what to call them. I guess headings, summaries, or whatever. Oliver Cowdery, David Whitmer, and Martin Harris were moved upon by an inspired desire to be the 3 special witnesses. Doctrine and Covenants, section 4. If ye have desires, ye are called to the work. They got desires, and the Lord knows they got desires. Yeah. Now, we always got to sometimes figure out what our desires are. You know, is my desire so that I could see the cool scriptures, you know, to see
what's your motive?
Right. Or is it so that I can stand shoulder to shoulder with Joseph Smith to the world and say, hey, this guy's telling the truth? You know, when they're desiring this, I'm sure their excitement overcame their logic maybe a little bit, especially for David Whitmer. I don't know that he was quite ready, because the Lord needed to let him know, like, you're taking this on. Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. You're going to see an angel. You're going to see sort of Laban. You're going to see plates, but this ain't all just so that you can go on your way. This is going to be this. I need something. It's going to be big.
Yeah. In exchange, Lord wanted them to testify the book.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. In exchange, they saw it, but they had to testify.
You know,
and they did.
Absolutely.
They never denied it. But what was you?
I was just going to pose the question: would any of us be willing to do what Martin did and stand up and say, I'm the reason that we're not obtaining our witness?
So what happened before that though? So they went to the woods. Yeah, they went.
Set it up. What did they do? Or whoever wants to set up.
So I went out.
You already said you went out to the sacred spot that they wanted to pray.
They went to go pray.
They all 4 knelt, right? Martin Harris, David Whitmer, Oliver Cowdery, and Joseph Smith. They're all there. They all kneel down to pray. I think at Joseph's request, he said, let's kneel down, let's pray. So they all start praying, and they do it individual. I don't know if y'all have ever experienced that or done that. I think I know in the bishop, we've all been in bishoprics. I can testify that has been done in our bishopric, and that is powerful. When you take turns praying on your knees, it's pretty powerful. If you want, I mean, I'll just leave it there. But so that's what they're doing here. And they're praying for a while. You know, I say a while, 30 minutes. 5 minutes. I don't know, but you know, they're praying. They're all going through. Probably everybody's went through already. And for some reason, you know, all of a sudden, Martin Harris feels like, hey, I'm the reason we're not getting something going on. You know, like you're saying.
Right.
So then that's when he stands up and says, I'm going to remove myself. And he left them 3, Joseph Smith, Oliver Cowdery, and David Whitmer there. And he goes off by himself. And when he leaves, Angel shows up.
Shows them
the plates.
Sort of Laban. Honan, the seer stones of Jared, son of Jared.
Yep.
So then now we're at this. So what does Martin do? he gets up.
So he's left, and so he's over there by himself while all that is taking place. And I don't even know. I don't know if he sees like a bright light off in the distance or what. I don't know. But I'm sure he's So he goes over, and then a little bit later, Joseph comes down and joins him. And
that's the part to me. that's super humbling to me. This is Joseph Smith, right? This is Joseph Smith.
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't carry himself that way. I'm Joseph Smith, the
Right,
prophet.
right.
But to us, he's Joseph Smith, the prophet. He's just walked out of the presence of Moroni, basically, that's showing the plates. And he's excited because he sees these other two men that are actually, y'all can see it, you know, yay. He walks over to Martin Harris, not like, whoa, guess what we just did? You know, this is great. This is so cool, you know. He goes over to him and kneels down with him and starts praying with him. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a leader. That's a leader right there. It's not like, hey man, it's already happened. We're good, you know, or whatever, or we'll get somebody else.
Yeah. I'll fill in as a third witness.
Yeah. Or whatever. But no, man, I'm telling you, that was powerful to me that he knelt down with. And then of course, that's when the angel then appeared to them too. Yeah. So Joseph got a double take, not like he's seen it.
So Jackson poses a question earlier, you know, would we done what Martin? If we, you know,
would we have gotten up?
Yeah, because it would have been
embarrassing.
It would have been
speculation. People would have been like, "What did he do? What's wrong with him?" You know,
it's good. It's a good question to. So,
because I wonder. I mean, it's, you know, you think about the kind of the closest we can get to that is the prayer circle.
Yeah, the temple.
Oh yeah,
in the temple.
Yes,
you know,
it says if anybody,
please remove yourself.
Please remove any ill feelings towards one another, or any kind of you know.
My thing is, I know it's going to be asked, so I'm not going to get up.
Let me ask you this: have you ever seen anybody leave circle? I have once.
Have you? I have.
I really did. And honestly, I was just like, I was like, what's going on? You know? But it wasn't like, oh my goodness. It was just, you know, but I was like,
so
what's going on here?
I think if you can do that,
but
you are the most humble.
Yes,
absolutely.
In the world.
Look, hey, and I just met a guy not very long ago, a couple weeks ago. He's an excommunicated member. I think you might know the same guy, or
someone told me. Someone. I
can't remember who I talked to, but anyway, this person had been excommunicated like 10 years ago or whatever it was. But the thing is, he said, you know, I know it's weird to see it. He was talking to me in this way. I know, I'm an excommunicated member, and so he's putting himself down here. You know, like I'm way down here. And I told him, I said, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, I put you up here because you can't, he started the process. I mean, he's the one that kind of, you know, everything was going on. He had to go into a meeting. That's a repentance process that he started. I've got utmost respect for you for going through with that. A lot of people do this kind of stuff, whatever things to get excommunicated or disfellowship, whatever, and they never do anything about it. And they just stay that way. Yeah. This guy's coming back to church. Yeah. This guy's doing the right thing. Yeah. So utmost respect, super humble. I got a lot of respect for you.
I do.
I look up to those people.
I really do.
Try to turn it around, you know. So Martin Harris is one of them at this, you know, I'm not saying he's excommunicated here. He does get excommunicated later, but does he not? Martin Harris?
No, Martin Harris was the only one of the three that never.
I thought he did get excommunicated.
That never fell away. David Whitmer and Oliver Cowdery.
Oliver Cowdery got excommunicated.
Not Martin Harris.
And he got rebate. So Martin Harris.
David Whitmer did.
Yeah, David Whitmer.
Whitmer,
Martin Harris ended up going out to Utah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he ended up.
But anyway, so anyway, here, that's the thing though, is I got a lot of respect for those people, and yeah, would we do it? That's a big deal.
Yeah. So
do we care about what others think, or do we care about what the Lord thinks?
Sometimes we do.
You know.
Yes. So Joseph's parents, they go back to the house. I wonder if they walked through that 20-acre of plow field.
And this field is good, man.
It's like, wow. And I mean, it's plowed nicely. That thing was plowed with a John Deere tractor.
Yeah,
from 2021. Yeah. It's just nice.
So they walk in,
and they knew they heard something at night, or rumbling in the field. They didn't know what it was.
So, anyways, after Barone, I got down from the John Deere tractor.
Yeah, right.
No, they walk in the house, and Joseph Smith's parents are there with Miss Whitmer, and they tell this miraculous story.
Everybody's on cloud nine right now, you know.
Yeah, and you got to take the pressure now that Joseph Smith doesn't have. Now he isn't the only one holding the plates. Now these other people.
Didn't he say something like, you just don't understand how much joy I feel right now? Telling his mother or telling or whatever.
His mom and dad and then Miss Whitmer.
And so, he was super relieved because now he doesn't have to carry that. And he's got people to back him up. You know, it's like, no, I saw it too. I mean, that's a big deal when you got somebody, that will come up beside you and say, no, leave him. You know, he's telling the truth, guys. And everybody's like, wait, what? I remember Alma and Amulek. Amulek became Alma's second witness, and Amulek was from the town. Remember when it said Amulek started talking, the people were kind of like,
right.
Wait, I know that cat.
Yeah.
Wait, he's saying the same thing. Wait a minute now. Hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Big deal. Witnesses are a big deal.
So we have to remember also there was the mother, Mary Fielding Whitmer.
Let me read from Lucy.
Okay.
From
Lucy
Mack Smith. Says it was between 3 and 4 o'clock. Mrs. Whitmer and Mr. Smith and myself were sitting in a bedroom. I sat on the bedside when Joseph came in. He threw himself down beside me. Father, mother, said he, you do not know how happy I am. The Lord has caused the plates to be shown to 3 more besides me, who have also seen an angel and will have to testify to the truth of what I have said. For they know for themselves that I do not go about to deceive the people, and I do feel as though I was relieved of a dreadful burden, which was almost too much for me to endure. But they will now have to bear a part, and it does rejoice my soul that I am not any longer to be entirely alone in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's huge, man. Huge.
That's
This was a super big relief for him. He does not have to get, like he said, it was his word against everybody forever for Joseph Smith. It was, you know what I mean?
Even the faithful.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. And so it was always like, well, you know, it all feels good. And I do know, and I've had this vision, this and that. I mean, there's people like Oliver Cowdery, etc. But until that point, it was absolutely now. Right. Yes, you've seen it, you've held it, or whatever, you've seen it, you've seen the angel, you've seen this and that and all that. I'm not making that stuff up. And now, I mean, and it says too that the other witnesses were super excited, super like, oh my goodness, and they couldn't stop testifying of it, you know, like.
So Mary, the mother, you got to think all these new mouths in the house feeding, all these people, new people. She was kind of working a lot. So anyways, Mary Whitmer, actually the mother, one day was visited by an angel and actually was a witness too, seeing the golden plates.
She felt so overwhelmed with all her responsibilities, and she was sort of questioning the Lord, like, you know, she had a lot to do. I mean, we'll just put it that way. And she was really stressed and a lot of things. So just for her to let her know that the reason why they're doing all this and then you have to also help in this way and do these things because of this. And she's shown the plates.
For sure.
She sees them. So here's the thing. So think about this. 12 men have seen the plates. Okay. 12, counting Joseph Smith. There's 11, 8 and 3 and 1, 12. And there's others, like you said, Mary Whitmer's one. Emma Smith, she felt the plates through the cloth. She, that's a witness. Different little things like that. So there's been others. In other words, there's not just these 12 people, but there were only 12 eyewitnesses of the Book of Mormon, Joseph Smith, 3 to 8, who were given the commandment to declare their witness to the world. So only these 12 men were commanded, not said, hey, it'd be great if you go tell people. No, they're commanded now. You testify of these things. Mary Whitmer was not commanded to testify of seeing the Book of Mormon. Only these 12 men were. It's an official. What I'm getting to is it's an official role.
Right.
Special witness.
It's a calling.
It's a special witness.
It was a calling for them to do that.
So cool story. They're at the Peter Whitmer house in that Whitmer home. There's stairs going upstairs. I mean, stairs going up to the second floor, which isn't a really big house, but that's just how they were made back then. There was maybe a house servant or some lady, a young lady who would work around there, and her name was Sally Conrad. And quite often she would see these two guys that she never met or really never heard of, Joseph and Oliver. They would come down the stairs and they were kind of like really white and countenance,
glowing a little bit.
Yeah. And she eventually just asks, what are they doing up there? They kind of everyone else try to keep it quiet, and they eventually tell her. And again, it's so cool how she saw the goodness and the brightness in them, even though she didn't know exactly what they were doing.
I think of Brother Jared a little bit, how it was not withheld from him. His faith was so good. Maybe her faith was so good that she could see, like, whoa, there's something different here,
And have you ever, like at church or at your job, or even out just in the world, just sometimes you can just look at people and just say, these are just
different. There's
good,
something about them.
People.
Good, wholesome people.
Something
and
about them, yeah.
So you can find
true.
goodness and just in their appearance. And when I say appearance, not a beautiful, anyway,
countenance or whatever. Yeah, right.
We're not talking about hot and sexy.
Yeah, like Andrew.
We're not.
Hey, I got here. You talking about some trivia stuff? I got some trivia stuff for you. You ready for this? All right, so they were shown. What were they shown? They were shown the plates, the breastplate, sword of Laban, Urim and Thummim. They saw a lot of stuff. Let me ask you this. When Joseph Smith went to the Hill Cumorah, got the stone up, and there's a stone box in there, what was in the box?
I was in the box.
What was in the box?
Plates.
So
plates. Bingo.
Urim and Thummim.
Urim and Thummim with the breastplate. They're attached to the breastplate.
Yeah, the breastplate.
Yeah, because he went to go down there and touch. He got
no. But I'm just saying, what was in that box?
So I was just going to say.
So you're right so far.
Yeah, I was just going to say breastplate, Urim and Thummim, and the and the plates.
Yeah,
it's never mentioned of the sword.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Nothing else was in that box. Okay. There's an article from New Era magazine, 2012. It's by Kimberly Richter. The Book of Mormon from Plates to Press is what it's called. She says the box with the gold plates also contained the Urim and Thummim and the breastplates. These are the only objects we know of that were in the box when Joseph retrieved the plates, though an angel also showed the sword of Laban and Leahona to the three witnesses. So they did get to see the sword of Laban and Leahona, but this must have been something that Moroni pulled out for them.
There's a sword right there.
Went to the vault.
and so you see some of this stuff, like and I'm pointing to a picture for those that are on the podcast. I'm pointing to a picture of Moroni. You see that, you see the sword, you see so you think, well, all that was laid. The Leahona was laid in there, and I think there might even I don't know. I might be making that up. I thought there might have been a video or two where it showed those things were laid in the box, but maybe not. But they were showed all those things. Doesn't mean that was because Joseph had those things. You know what I'm saying? He, the plates and et cetera. As a matter of fact, the angel had the plates at that point, I think,
Okay. Anything else?
The last thing that I had that I love is verse 6, one of my favorite scriptures, 17:6, section 17, verse 6. And I'll tell you why. And this is what it says. And he, Joseph Smith, translated the book. Even that part which I've commanded him, as your Lord and your God liveth, it is true. This is Jesus Christ saying that, right? Okay, so the Lord himself has given a definitive confirmation that is true. Elder Bruce Armick, I'm finna McConkie you up. You ready? This is what he said about this verse. He said, one of the most solemn oaths ever given to man is found in these words of the Lord relative to Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon. He has translated the book, even that part which I've commanded him, saith the Lord, and as your Lord and your God liveth, it is true. This is God's testimony of the Book of Mormon. In it, deity himself has laid his godhood on the line. Either the book is true or God ceases to be God. There never is, nor can be any more formal or powerful language known to men or gods. So that's a pretty powerful verse. I've never really, it really stands out now. Yeah. I knew back on my mission that this was Jesus testifying, but when I read that quote from Bruce R. McConkie, I thought, that's a big deal. I mean, he really put it out there. Talking about witnesses, here's the biggest witness. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so,
wow. So from April of 1829 till June,
which is now that we're talking about.
The Book of Mormon, these golden plates are translated, in how many days?
It's like within 60 working days, they said. So that's, so April, May, June. It's like really it's 90 days total. But I think within those 90 days, there was revelations, there was mob attacks, there were traveling. Traveling. So it condensed it down. I think President Nelson said within 60 working days, which is even more astounding. I mean, 3 months is outstanding, but yet really only just 2 months worth, as far as working every day on it. But
date night, going to the movies.
Yeah, right. Yeah. For us, it would have took
Low Country Bowl,
like 10 years, but
that's cool. Just a marvelous work and wonder. This is what's happening. So
absolutely. And these witnesses, man, this is just, it's powerful stuff. How powerful witnesses are. So,
it's not just three men putting a little statement together and putting it on a sheet of paper. It's just so much more than that for sure. So
absolutely.
Well, there you have it. Until next time, y'all keep on striving.
Woo! Bam, 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 bam.